Hello there, thanks for joining us on CoreTV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Nigerian lawyers not to sacrifice the integrity of the country's legal system in a bid to cover the misdeeds of their clients, no matter how lucrative the brief may be. While speaking at the opening of the 55th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, Buhari called on Nigerian lawyers to support his administration's war against corruption and help the country return to the path of rectitude by making Nigerian courts functional and effective again. Noting that lawyers are often in the vanguard of the defense of human rights, he urged them to view corruption too as a gross violation of human rights. The president also urged Nigerian lawyers to work for a more efficient and effective legal system, which he said will help to attract more investment to the country, as well as accelerating the pace of national economic development. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon arrived in Nigeria for a two-day official visit on Sunday. Ki-moon arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at 4:15 p.m. and was received by Ambassador Bulus Lulon, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the UN Resident Coordinator Dauda Tuare, UNFPA Executive Director Babatunde Oshotimehin, and Special Representative of UN Secretary General to Nigeria and West Africa, Ibn Chambers, were among those received in. And afterwards, he met also with members of the Nigeria Governors Forum and has demanded the immediate release of the Chibok girls. President Muhammadu Buhari has accepted the voluntary offer by the leadership of the Muslim community under the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, to supervise the ad hoc committees of government officials established by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to cater for the general welfare of Nigeria pilgrims. The Sultan is being represented by a committee of emirs under the leadership of the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the development did not contradict the earlier directive by the President that the federal government delegation to the 2015 Hajj exercise be suspended in line with the cost-saving measures of his administration. The presidential spokesman added that in accepting this voluntary offer of service, Buhari made it clear that there would not be government funds involved in the mission by the emir. He said the government would not name any members into the emir's delegation. Shehu, however, assured Nigerians that all measures had been taken now to ensure that the well-being of pilgrims was well managed by the various other committees on medical, accommodation, transport, logistics, information, and publicity. Meanwhile, the federal government has reassured Nigerians of its commitment to ending insurgency in Nigeria by the end of this year. Special Advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, made the reassurance while speaking with journalists in his hometown, Ipitumodu, Osun State, at a reception organized in his honor. Rashid has more in this report.
As Nigerians eagerly await the cabinet list of the president, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, maintains that only credible Nigerians will be appointed as ministers by the president. Though he affirms that President Buhari appears to be slow in his manner of governance, he assured that given the test of time, the people will be glad they voted President Muhammadu Buhari to power.
The government came into office on the wings of change. So naturally, those who can fit into that mode of change will have to give way. But I can tell you that anybody that is appointed will be a round peg in a round hole. The 10,000 policemen that will be recruited will not be for insurgency. The deadline to defeat insurgency is December this year. Those policemen will still be in the academy training, so they were not to be recruited for insurgency.
For his part, Governor of the state, Rauf Aregbesola, notes that the appointment of Adesina was based on merit, stressing further that the president was right with his appointment, as will be replicated in other appointments.
Femi has never expressed any political barrier, and I can support that. He never did, even when he had cause to so, he did not, or support for any political party. Though he declared at the run-up to the presidential election his preference for our president, and I commend him for that.
The traditional ruler of Ikpetumodu, Oba James Adegoke, urged Adesina to translate his appointment to developmental stride of the community and the country at large.
The challenge is being thrown here today to both Femi Adesina and Barrister Oloba Ekutayo that although they are far away in Abuja, your heart should regularly be focused at home on what they can do for their people to improve the quality of their lives and as well develop the township.
As the president set September for the forming of cabinets, Nigerians await those who will make the integrity list as set by President Muhammadu Buhari. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ikpetumodu.
The Labour Party has declared that President Muhammadu Buhari's government will find it difficult to achieve meaningful success in its current anti-graft war if it fails to appoint an Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice without further delay. The General Secretary of the party, Kayode Ajulo, who stated this at a news briefing in Abuja, described the AGF as the advisor to the federal government on legal issues and also the chief law officer of the Federation. According to the party, the office of the Attorney General remained the only post among the ministers that the Constitution created differently, and noted that his input was essential to give focus and direction to Buhari's anti-corruption crusade. The LP scribe said the Constitution recognizes that the president cannot know it all. He needs some special advisors, he needs ministers at the moment, and President Buhari takes decisions based on impulse, and he cannot run a government like that. Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has informed the state's People's Democratic Party members of the APC's mission to rule Imo State for 24 years. Okorocha stressed that APC would not only come stronger in the southeast, but would govern the state for over 2 decades, as against the former PDP's national chairman Vincent Ogbulafo's claim that his party will rule Nigeria for 60 years. A statement by the chief press secretary to the Imo State Governor, Sam Owomodo, disclosed that the PDP's stalwart claim was anchored only on federal might, while that of Okorocha was anchored on his proven record of achievement in the state. The governor's spokesman therefore assured residents of his principal's commitment to outshine his previous performance by making life comfortable for the governed. Well, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has said that his administration remains open to constructive criticisms. Wike made this remark at the Royal House of Grace International Church during the 23rd anniversary Thanksgiving service in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Describing his administration as a listening and responsible government, the governor said he was ready to make amends if criticized constructively. Wike told the congregation that he had paid salaries and pensions owed civil servants and pensioners in the state, adding that his administration had also embarked on some projects for the development of rivers. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it is time to forgive me.
Political Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that you'll be consulting.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it's about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power.
In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
Welcome back. All of our top stories can be found on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. Twitter is at CoreTV News NG, as well as on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, live space and news. 62-year-old Matthew Asoko has indeed been thrown into anguish and pains following the alleged brutal killing of his son by his landlady and members of his family. Asoko's only plea now is for justice to be done on the case of his innocent son, who was forcefully exited from the world. CoreTV News Bolu Adebisi has details, as presented from our studios.
The tragic death of 20-year-old Emmanuel Azuko is one case too bitter for the Azuko's family to bear. The computer engineer and only son of Pastor Matthew Azuko was allegedly set ablaze by his landlady at one of the abandoned rooms in the house. Narrating his ordeal, Matthew Azuko said his problem with the landlady started when his wife advised the landlady against taking illegal delivery of babies in the compound. Since that incident, Azuko said it's been one trouble to the other, as life has made a living hell for him.
I don't have drugs with Jane. The only drugs I have with Jane is that Jane, this as small as this room, Jane is taking deliveries, taking people are born in here, and the people, this place have become a terror.
Is she a nurse?
He's not a nurse. He has no certificate of nurse. He's not a qualified nurse. He's taking baby. People are delivering here, and sometimes people die. That was the only problem I had with nurse when we said that. That was the only problem we had.
And how his son died, Azuko explained that Emmanuel met his ugly fate when he went to urinate at midnight and was ambushed by assailants.
They whispered to him, and immediately he turned his eyes. He said, immediately turned his eyes. The splash fell on the eyes, and the boy thought maybe it's from far. So the boy bent down. He bent down, tried to recover. They now released the whole fuel. Pour the whole gallon full of him, and then put fire.
When CoreTV News visited the home of the Azukos, residents had a lot of negative testimonies to give about the landlady, whom they popularly referred to as Iron Lady, but were too scared to speak on camera. Though the accused, who have carried out series of evil acts on the wife and niece of Azuko, is in police custody, but Pastor Azuko dearly hopes that he gets justice at the end, disclosing that his only son should not be allowed to die in vain.
The Nigerian Union of Teachers has knocked state governments over the poor funding of primary school education in the country. The union said it was alarmed by revelations from the Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education Commission, Dr. Sulaiman Diko. The states could not match the 40% federal government grant allocated for the implementation of universal basic education programs in the states. The NUT Secretary General Obong, in a statement in Abuja, said the union considered the development a serious indictment on the states, stressing that these best describe the lack of concern by them in the development of public primary education in the country. This, it added, explained why Nigeria could not meet the expected targets of education for all by 2015. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Hayford Mufaya, has tabled the major challenges that the institution is facing in the security-burdened state. Mufaya, who was accompanied by the university's management team on a courtesy call to Governor Simon Lalong, reminded him to look into the several requests they had earlier presented to the executive in order to ensure that safety of lives and property, as well as a conducive learning environment, is guaranteed in the university.
In line with the challenging security situation and other needs affecting the university, the management of the university decided to table their cry to the new governor of the state to come to their aid as a matter of urgency. Responding to the call, Governor Simeon Lalong urged them to be patient with him, adding that he would look into their numerous needs.
We can do the best that we can do to assist you in whatever you will do to keep the university and to also keep to the standard. On the issues you mentioned, although I have not seen them, but we will go through them and see the ones that we can do. But have our assurance that within our limited resources, by God's grace, we will also access the university.
The Vice-Chancellor used the occasion to commend the governor in appointing Professor Jega as the new Pro-Chancellor of the State University, hoping that the erudite professor will bring his expertise to bear in the troubled state university that is yet to send any of its students for the National Youth Service Corps.
I should also use this opportunity to thank the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission for supporting and also through his own commission looked into the issues that were developing that institution. And I'm sure that the report of that NUC and that of the government would have informed.
It is expected that the governor of the state, Simeon Landlord, will immediately swing into action to granting the university the desired needs.
People who encroached on government land in some schools in Kaduna State have been dismantling their structures even before the bulldozers move in. This was the situation at the Leah Primary School on Maiduguri Road, where many shop owners have been moving the roof of the structures and moving out. Some of them who care to speak to the press said it's better for them to do the destruction themselves before the arrival of the bulldozers. Amina Nebi has more in this report presented from our studios.
This is Maiduguri Road, popularly known as the Balende, a social place where residents of the area gather regularly to relax after a hard day at work. Balende, which is situated in the Kaduna North local government area, is one out of many places marked for demolition by the State Urban Planning and Development. Out of 78 shops, only about 2 are left. Chairman of the Maiduguri Road Traders Association is disappointed over the short notice given by the state government.
Actually, what government did, I'm not happy at all. Look at all my members are just scattered. Imagine that the government that we vote in place to come and give you 14 days to park. And this allocation was given from the Kasuda and the Kaduna North local government, giving this portion of lands out for individual to build and giving you allocation. Today, we went and showed them the document that warrants us to stay here, and the government just being unfair to us. Is it because we are low-income earner and just throwing people for 14 days to leave and go? If some of them parking here, they don't even know where they are going to.
A shop owner here believes that the state government should have provided them an alternative before seeking to displace them.
We had a meeting with our local government chairman. He now told us that that he's going to forward our request and our cry to governor. And up to now, we have not heard from him. We didn't hear any good listen from him now, up to now. I don't have anything again. Look at me, I have family, I have children. Even I have brothers that even stay with me. They all depend on me. It is through me they are eating. Now, we are getting the daily bread now. They have the money in the place. I have no other place to go.
It will be recorded that the state government gave the land encroachers a 2-week notice, which has since elapsed.
Women in Nigeria have been charged to be more dedicated and useful to their immediate society and nation at large. These formed part of the message at this year's NASFAT Women's Week in Nigeria. The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Idiat Adebole, who earlier charged women to be more dedicated, stressed that women are custodians of the nation's greatness. Therefore, responsibility behoves to take the lead as role models. Akim Shonike has details as presented from our studios.
Marking the end of the 16th Annual Women's Week of NASFAT in 2015 was a lecture for women with the theme Entrepreneurship, Remodeling Women's Perception. The lecture, which was well attended, had women colorfully dressed with rapt attention on the path of charting a new course for their life and the nation. Representing the Governor of Lagos State, the Deputy Governor, Idiat Adebule, disclosed that the Embodies administration is prepared to support women and give them the desired recognition and involvement in governance.
I want to commend NASFA for this focus of theirs, and I pray that all the women that we are given the opportunity to, don't forget the Lagos State government supported them so well by providing the enablement, by providing all the necessary trainers to come and help them out throughout the week. We hope that those that have benefited from this scheme will go forward and, of course, continue to preach the gospel to others that are still waiting.
Charging women to tour the path of independence and courage, the head of service to the Lagos State government, Sherifat Chaji, says women have the ability to uplift a nation using their advantage position and prowess.
And I believe so much that we women
done without women involvement, will not be successful. And, you can see that we are the pillars of home. And we will continue, to hold our homes because the homes, constitute the society.
The Chief Missioner of NASFAT, Sheikh Abdullah Akimbode, appreciated the organizers of the week-long program, as well as urged beneficiaries of the vocational training to put to use all they have learned in the course of the week.
We must change everything, and that is the mission of NASFAT, to change the whole system, to present Islam as it should be presented, so that we will receive Western education and non-Islamic education. Today we have balanced education. We can stand any test of any environment.
For the National Women Affairs Secretary of NASFAT and convener of the Women's Week, Samiat Mumuni, women should be productive people in order to achieve greater success.
The women of NASFAT are firmly dedicated to giving explicit meaning to these vision statements by actively involving in human capacity building and developmental projects. It is indeed a gathering for refreshing and brainstorming, showcasing the key performance indicators geared towards women development in the world.
Though the week activity comes to an end, but for the beneficiaries, it is simply the beginning of a new dawn as they hope to implement all lessons learned in the week-packed program.
Outside Nigeria, stocks tumbled across Asia on Monday, with China's main index losing 8.8% as investors shaken by the sell-off last week on Wall Street unloaded shares in practically every sector. The Shanghai Composite Index slid to 3,200.85 by early afternoon. It came as analysts and investors watched for signs that China's regulators or the central bank might intervene. Regulators say they will allow the state pension fund to invest up to 30% of its total net assets in stocks and other equities, but that move is an approval of a policy announced earlier and had no discernible impact on investment sentiment. Many China-listed companies hit their 10% downside limits, and only a handful saw their share prices rise. The China benchmark has lost all of the gains of its meteoric rise earlier in the year, though it's still up 43% from a year ago. Italy's Coast Guard says authorities have rescued about 4,400 refugees who were stranded in the overcrowded and rickety vessels in the Mediterranean after receiving distress calls from 20 boats drifting in waters off the Libyan coast. One of the biggest single-day rescue operations to date in the Mediterranean Sea reportedly occurred on Saturday. According to Italian Navy, the rescued refugees included a group of 311, including a newborn baby, who were picked up by boats belonging to the humanitarian group Doctors Without Borders. The boat is expected to dock on Monday in Vibo Valencia in Calabria, according to port authorities. That wraps it on the news this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour for a more comprehensive bulletin. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for watching.